Hey everyone, it's Rohan here and very welcome to my channel. Quick updates on the crypto space over the last 24 hours. And if we have not met before, in this channel, you will find me every day with my analysis on crypto market and macroeconomic global issues. So do subscribe and let me help you keep yourself updated. So SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, issues not guilty plea in the FTX case. He faces charges including wire fraud, money laundering and violating campaign finance laws, which altogether carry a maximum penalty of 115 years in prison. Despite the not guilty plea, Bankman-Fried could change his decision going forward. And SBF's lawyer also requested to keep the identities of his bail sureties confidential. So in a letter dated January 3rd, SBF lawyer asked Judge Kaplan to redact the names and identifying information of the two individuals who will co-sign SBF's bail bond. The lawyers also requested that the personal data of the individuals who will provide bail sureties not be publicly disclosed by the government. And their reason was, if the two remaining sureties are publicly identified, they will likely be subjected to probing media scrutiny and publicly targeted for harassment, despite having no substantive connection with the case. For large bail bonds like that of SBF, courts often require multiple people to sign on as sureties to ensure that the defendant appears in court. Defense lawyers often seek to mask the identities of the bail guarantors to shield them from public criticism. Moving on, the Italian parliament has given the green light to impose a 26% capital gains tax on cryptocurrency earnings, exceeding 2,000 euros. This new regulation also offers taxpayers an incentive to report their crypto-related profits. And under this law, crypto owners are entitled to an amnesty for unreported gains achieved in previous years by paying a substitute tax of 3.5% plus a 0.5% fine for each additional years. And the Italian parliament passed this law as part of their budget 2023 on December 29th, 2022. And it also allows taxpayers to subtract crypto losses exceeding 2,000 euros and also permits them to declare any crypto holdings they have on January 1 with a 14% tax rate. Now, this Italy's move comes after the European Union last year approved the Markets for Crypto Assets or MiCA bill. The bill establishes a consistent regulatory framework on crypto assets across the EU and is expected to come into effect in 2024. And so far, no other European countries have announced new tax rules specifically relating to crypto assets for 2023. So Italy is kind of the first one. And how many crypto holders there are in Italy, just for the context here? So Italy is home to about 1.3 million crypto holders, which is nearly 2.3% of its population. As per reports, most of the crypto users in the country were between the ages of 28 and 38 as of July 2022. And about this new law in Italy, this law has its benefits and drawbacks as well. So it is a positive step forward in that it allows for explicit regulations regarding taxes on cryptocurrency transactions and crypto assets, providing more clarity and awareness for taxpayers as well as reining in the often arbitrary and contradictory interpretation by financial offices. However, there are still many aspects which this law does not address actually. And then we come to these warnings from IMF that we expect 1/3 of the world economy to be in recession. IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva tells this today, but a strong US labor market might help the world get through a difficult year, she says.
How do you describe the state of US economics and politics?
The US economy, remarkably resilient. Decision-making in the US, because of the way the political set is at the moment it is more difficult, but nonetheless the US has taken some very important steps that are helping to the US economy, like the child tax, the
tax credit,
the credit that it is contributing so significantly to reducing poverty in the US, like the infrastructure bill, like the Inflation Reduction Act. These are things that are bringing more dynamism in the US, good for the US, good for the world. And of course, staying on that course is going to be more challenging, but I do hope that the US is not going to slip into recession despite all these risks. We expect 1/3 of the world economy to be in recession, and yes, as you said, even countries that are not in recession, it would feel like recession for countries of millions of people.
All right, so she stated clearly, even for countries that are not in recession, it would feel like recession. All right, so further on this subject, many economists are predicting that in the EU, the UK will be facing one of the most severe economic recession and slowest recoveries in comparison to other G7 nations this year, and this is due to government policy mistakes and will result in households enduring a heavy financial burden. It has been stated by many economists that this recession could be worse than what was experienced during the pandemic, as real wages, financial conditions, and housing market corrections all are at its all-time low. So the UK is particularly susceptible to the worldwide upturn in energy cost and interest rates, given its reliance on gas with no storage capacity and a significant number of mortgage holders who must renew fixed rate deals. Additionally, since the pandemic started, it has experienced an unusual decrease in its workforce. So, according to Diane Coyle, who is a professor at the Cambridge University, states that the UK is facing a structural problem rather than a cyclical downturn. And many economists further said that the strongest similarities of current recessionary situation in the UK is kind of like that of 1970s because of the energy price shock, stagflationary climate, and industrial unrest. And in this interview, she also said that the countries which are not in technical recession, they also will feel like recession. And that's because, let's think about this, the US downturn, the US is seeing a downturn, and that has led to a decrease in demand for products manufactured in Asian countries like China, Thailand, and Vietnam. Now, furthermore, higher interest rates make borrowing more costly, thus dissuading companies from investing in business growth. This lack of growth can lead to investors withdrawing money from an economy, leaving poorer countries with insufficient funds to purchase essential imports like food and energy. So in this kind of economic downturn, a currency's value may decrease in comparison to that of more prosperous countries, exacerbating the issue. This can be especially detrimental to emerging markets, as higher interest rates on loans can make it difficult for them to repay their debts. Alright, after this, I wanted to revisit the crypto taxation aspect again. That is after the news that we discussed about 26% capital gain tax in Italy. So consider some other parts of the world as far as crypto taxation goes. So let's see the USA's situation. Do you have to pay taxes in Bitcoin and crypto in USA? Yes, you will have to tax. You will pay tax on cryptocurrency gains and income in the US. The IRS is clear that crypto may be subject to income tax or capital gains tax depending on the specific transaction you have made. And how much is the taxation rates in USA? You will pay up to 37% tax on short-term capital gains and crypto income, and between 0 to 20% tax on long-term capital gains. The amount of tax you will pay on crypto in the USA depends on how much you earn, the specific transaction, and how long you have held the asset. And this article is from coinbase websites, and they are kind of specialized in crypto taxation. And now coming to the taxation in India of crypto assets. So how much is the tax in India? You will pay 30% on profits from trading, selling, or spending crypto, and 1% TDS tax on the sale of crypto assets exceeding more than rupees 50,000 in a single financial year. You may also pay income tax upon receipt at your individual tax rate if you are seen to be earning other income in crypto, for example, through staking or mining. And also, this is important, this rate of taxation is the same as India's highest income tax rate. That is, India has 3 or 4 brackets, and this is the highest bracket, that is 30% bracket. The tax rate applies to private investors, commercial traders, and anyone else who transfers crypto assets in a given financial year. As well as this, the 30% tax rate will be applicable irrespective of the nature of income. So it doesn't matter if it is investment income or business income, and there is no distinction between short-term and long-term gains. Further, the point is that the 30% tax is not the only tax crypto is subjected to in India. Another section under the taxation rules, 1% tax at source on transfer of crypto assets on or after July 1, 2022 if crypto transaction exceed rupees 50,000 in a financial year is what you will pay, and this is to ensure all crypto transactions are tracked. All right, moving on from taxation. This news is also quite important after the recent events over the last 2 days that Grayscale Ethereum Trust nears a record 60% discount. And so the actual numbers are the Grayscale Ethereum Trust is trading at its highest discount yet of nearly minus 60%, and the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust has not fared better, hitting record discounts nearly minus 50% in December 2022. And this is being affected by the fight between Winklevoss and Barry Silbert. So I did a video just previous to this where we discussed about how Winklevoss is accusing Barry Silbert for the situation, the stalemate situation at Gemini Earn program. And 3 users of crypto exchange Gemini's Earn program have filed a request for class action arbitration against Genesis Global Capital and Digital Currency Group after Genesis froze withdrawals, which forced Gemini to do the same with Earn program. So DCG head Barry Silbert has also engaged in a public dispute with Gemini co-founder Cameron Winklevoss on Twitter. Alright, further, and in today's last piece of analysis, the US Federal Reserve and other agencies continue to warn banks against crypto. So the US Federal Reserve and other regulators issued a crypto warning for the banking system on Tuesday through the statement, though the statement doesn't extend any new policies about how traditional lenders deal with digital assets. So this is what they said, given the significant risk highlighted by recent failures of several large crypto asset companies, the agencies continue to take a careful and cautious approach related to current or proposed crypto asset related activities and exposure at each banking organization, according to the statement from agencies that also included the Office of Comptroller of Currency, that is OCC, and FDIC. So the US banking regulators have maintained a careful resistance on cryptocurrency getting a significant toehold in the traditional financial system. They have allowed some custody operations among lenders, and the OCC briefly extended provisional charters to crypto trust banks, but the rules at the agencies now hold that a lender must get prior approval before getting into any new business involving cryptocurrency sector. That pretty much wraps up this video. If you liked it, do smash the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.